want to talk to you about compassion. There'll be some verses in a moment. We do have an outline this week. Be honest with you, the reason it wasn't last week is I just didn't take the time to send the outline over to our media minister. So, but we'll have an outline up there, and we'll try to follow it as close as possible. Compassion. Let me dive right in. I did a little bit of research on this, and I found this interesting. Now, you with me, right? Amen? You got your gospel seatbelt on? Buckle up, baby, because here we go, right? Some of you, it's your first time. You better hang on, man, because my ADD goes in hyperdrive, and the Holy Ghost infuses me, okay? All right, here we go. The University of Michigan did a comprehensive study of 14,000 students. Now, they did this study from 1979 to 2010, somewhere around in there, okay? All right, so stay with me. This study. What they did is they were studying about the compassion of those students. From 1979, they did 14,000 students, and this is what they come up. At 2009, I'd imagine in 2015 it's an even probably greater percentage. But what they discovered in 2009, around 2010 more accurately, is that those 14,000 students was just a sample of all the people that live here in America, right? That they had 40% less compassion than when they started in 19. So in the 80s, basically what this study told us, in the 80s, we had more compassion for our fellow citizens. Now, mind you that in the 80s, we were on the brink. You know, I don't remember where I was a couple weeks ago. I might have been in a doctor's. I was in an office somewhere, and no, I know exactly where I was. I was waiting to go back and pray for Misty before you had surgery. So I was at Cannon Memorial Pickens. And I hadn't heard this noise in forever. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, beep. You know what that noise is? I know it's hard to translate that, right? The old way we used to log on to the internet, right? I mean, I hadn't heard that sound in forever, man, because it's just right there, right? You want me to do it again? Beep, beep, beep. Okay, all right. Y'all love me. I love you too. And so I hadn't heard that sound. But so mind you, say, why don't you tell us all that? Because we were right at the brink, and so we said, what's the major difference? Well, some of the leading researchers, not at this study in Michigan, but other smarter people than me, all right, that I study after and try to make sure that I'm ready to preach, they say that one of the greatest influences in decline in our compassion is social media. They say that it's one of the greatest influences that has caused us to be. And what was really shocking a second ago was when I said that we're 40% less care, some of you looked at me like, I don't care less now. I'm hungry. Clemson won yesterday. The Bobcats are still winning, right? It's South Carolina, we pray. And Georgia won. Holy smokes. Okay, come back. I'm sorry. I love football. Sorry. Come back. Okay, what was I talking about? South Carolina, so I was talking about compassion. Compassion. Right, compassion for the South Carolina fans. In love. That's right. So let's ride that high while we can, Tigers. Okay, all right, now. 40% less compassion, okay? And some of you, I can see it on your face, all right? 40% less compassion. They say, experts believe that the rise in social media has caused the people to care less. Let me give out my outline. Why are we caring less? There's going to be a little outline right here, just intro. Why are we caring less due to the direct influence of social media? Remember, 1980 really wouldn't. How many of you can remember 1980? Some of you going, man, it was the blur. I was coming out of the 70s, dude. I'm telling you, no. Okay, let me ask you this. I have no idea where this stuff comes from. I really don't. All right? I should just stick to the outline and just read it, but I can't. How many of you can you remember in 1980, did you have internet? Exactly. All right, so I just want to prove a point to you and all this good stuff, okay? All right, 1980. Some of you going, man, I can't even remember. And for some of you, anyway, all right. And so some of you don't even know what it's like not to have a smartphone, okay? All right. Now, why do we care less to drink? Let me give you three things, okay? Let me give you three things. First one is this, outline will be on there. We are more obsessed with ourselves. We are more obsessed with ourselves. Listen, I'm not knocking it. You'll probably see one later today, all right, from us. But, man, selfies, right? Ladies, we know what you're doing when you're up here with that. We get you, okay? We understand. We understand you're wearing the booster. I got it. I get it. Come on, man. Come on. Or here we are. Look at us, and you're not here, so be jealous. Or the duck face. I mean, seriously, right? So, don't look at me like that, man. And I'm as guilty as anybody. All right? Not that one, okay? But maybe this one. But anyway, all right. Okay, all right. It's funny when you see them in the gym too. They're trying to just aim it just right and they're not trying to flex, but they tighten their fist up like, let me show you what little bit of bicep I got. Anyway, sorry. I'm like, if you go and do some more curls, you'll probably get bigger. But anyway, all right? And so we're more obsessed with, that was wrong, Gabe. You shouldn't even make me think that, dude. All right. We're more obsessed with ourselves. All this selfie. Matter of fact, this is cool. I did a little more research. 80% of what you do on social media is about yourself. And some of you are going, duh. 80% of what you do on social media is about yourself. When you go on there, you go to see how many likes you have. All right, we've already covered this in another Sunday. Another Sunday back. Don't act like you don't. As soon as you post something, you can't even wait 5 minutes. You're going, how many likes do I got? Is it trending? Has it been favored? Has it been shared? I got 3,000 friends and I only have 2 likes. What's going on here? Thought that was cool. 80% of what you do on social media is all about yourself. Here's why. Watch this. This is why, and we're talking about compassion. I don't being silly, but I definitely have your attention, or most of you. It's because I'm not, I'm just a lumberjack preacher, right? Meathead's what some call me, Jim Rat. I don't know a lot about a lot, but I know what I read here, that the brain, when you see yourself or see something that you particularly like, that your brain releases this chemical called dopamine. And that dopamine, guess what? It's just a natural high. Got my buzz on, baby. We like for people to like us. We like for people to like the stuff that we like. And so 80% of what we do on social media, it is all about ourselves. Most of our posts are about ourselves. And rightfully so, it's your account. You can say whatever you want, do whatever you want. Some of you just should be so dumb with it. But I'm just saying, and so you do that, right? But I'm telling you, the reason that we're 40% less compassionate about people is because we're more obsessed with ourselves than ever before. People, this generation here, and I love them, they're the first ones to hit this altar. We're training them up right, okay? So not necessarily these students, but I'm telling you, our students now, they won't even know a world that doesn't have the word selfie in it. Do you understand? But they won't have a clue. So why are we caring less? This is a direct influence of social media. And this is not a bandwagon against social media. This is a sermon about compassion. So just stay with me, okay? But hashtag struggle is real. Okay? Because we're more upset. Secondly, overwhelming exposure to suffering desensitizes us. Overwhelming exposure to suffering desensitizes us. Now, this one was a shocker to me when I began to do research in this subject. Everything in this 21st, you with me? Say amen. I promise you I will teach you something if you will listen. It was shocking to me because our brain is wired the way it is. Some of you got a few wires loose, but that's okay. All right? Because our brain is wired the way it's wired. And now in the 21st century, we view everything on a what? On a timeline. Now what happens, researchers are discovering what happens is this, is our brain, as we scroll through that timeline, we see, it blows my mind. We see, here we see somebody post, oh, check out my new shoes. Then we see somebody post, this is what I'm having for dinner. Then we see another post, latest athlete beats his wife. Then we scroll down and we see the children in Africa were slain. And because we see all those things on this timeline, our brain, it doesn't know how to differentiate between the seriousness of the situations. You all right? Some of you going, I didn't know my brain even worked like that. Yeah, it really, your brain can't, and so you just keep scrolling through. And what used to bother you, like a commercial on TV, because you didn't have DVR back then and you couldn't just fast. I ain't seen a commercial in years. Just being honest with you. Unless it's the one right before my ESPN Live takes place. I mean, somebody's always got to throw a commercial in that booger. But I'm just saying, but we don't see, but used to, when you had to watch commercials, when you would see that starving child with a bloated belly and the flies in their eyes, it would really bother you. But now, it don't even faze you anymore. Now, some of you, you're saying, no, it still bothers me. Well, God bless you. But for the majority of people, I promise you, you are desensitized because your brain doesn't know how to process between what they see. It just happens so fast. And all you got to do, watch this, all you got to do, scroll right through it. Right? As a matter of fact, you can go and you can do just like me, and I'm just being real with you, right? I just go hide or unfollow. I try not to defriend. Did that a few years back. Good Lord, you'd thought I'd killed somebody in their family. You love me! I didn't know that Facebook account meant that I loved you or I didn't love you. Anyway, we desensitize to the overexposure of suffering. Let me give you one more, just an intro. The reason we're 40% less, probably even greater now in 2015, headed into 2016 if Jesus tarries, the reason we don't have as much compassion is because we're more obsessed with ourselves than we've ever been. We're overwhelmed with exposure of suffering, desensitizes us. Lack of personal interaction makes it easier not to care. When it's just a post, I don't have to really care. You understand me? When I'm just reading it and it's black and white and it's probably 2D, it's just text form, maybe a picture that's not even 3D, I really don't even have to get too involved. I can just like, and do you find it weird? You with me? Say amen. Amen. Do you find it weird to like a negative post? Just got diagnosed. Do you like that? That's weird, isn't it? A brain has, I'm telling you, your brain has, you think I'm being just crazy and chasing rabbits. I'm trying to teach you something. How these things are causing us to be less compassionate. And the greatest time ever we need to be compassionate, showing people Christ, is that this lack of personal interaction makes it easier not to care. Somebody last night said, I bet you guys are in the same house Facebooking. Because my wife said, stop. I'd been aggravating her and she's trying to, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to go back and say, yeah, we're laying on the same couch. She couldn't say it to me. Well, obviously it wasn't working that she was saying it verbally to me. So she thought she'd blast a few thousand people that I need to stop. Anyway, she's a junkie of social media, and pray for her. Lack of personal interaction makes it easier not to care. Lack of personal interaction makes it easier to care. What is compassion? Compassion. What is compassion? Here we're going to dive right into the Word. I'm going to preach about 10, 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 2 hours. We'll get done here in a second, okay? What is compassion? Here's what the Greek word is. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the Greek word. I'm just going to tell you what the definition is, all right? And I think I've taught you this before, but I'm going to do it again just for lack of remedial, okay? And some of you haven't been here, but this is your first time, so you're going to get it. The Greek word means that, you ready? This is worth shaving your legs for, okay? Unless you're doing a no-shave November, lady. All right? We'll get the pictures next week because this is the last Sunday. To yearn in your bowels. It does. That's what the word means. You know that rumble tumble? You don't act like you were there. yeah, but it wasn't a bad burrito. I'm just saying, to yearn in your bowels. I'll be honest with you, I don't really know what to do with that, but that's what it means. But I can give you some more. Not only does it mean to yearn in my bowels, it really does, the bowels yearn. That's exactly what it means, all right? Okay? It really does. You look it up on your own. This is so funny. I can't help it. I just make myself laugh. It means to ache inside. That's not a bad burrito. It's ache inside. It's compassion. It means my bowels yearn. I ache on the inside. Let me just try to bring it in a way we can understand. It means to feel deeply. I can't help it. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, little mama. It literally means to be moved to action. You know, like that bad burrito. I can't help it. I cannot help it. You think I'm lying? You can't make this stuff up. That's how cool our Bible is. I mean, it's just, Pastor Bradley's like, man. It is exactly what I can't help. I'm tickled. I can't help it. Super spiritual bunch. Next. It literally means it means to be moved to action. And here it is. Here's what compassion is. It means that something deep down inside you begins to churn. It begins to move. And listen, it's more than saying I love you. Hey, what true compassion is, true compassion demands action. True compassion demands action. You thought I was just being silly, and maybe a little bit or a lot. But I promise you, I'll teach you something. And we'll get serious and a flip of the script. You see, it's one thing to like a post and to scroll on. True compassion, to yearn deep inside you, to have something move, that you would get up late at night to go check on somebody, or that you would reach deep down in your pocket to give to somebody, knowing that you really don't have the money to give. I'm talking about true compassion. Amen. Demands action. It's more than just saying, hey, I'll pray for you. It's stopping right there, getting off the treadmill and praying with that person. It's stopping in Walmart to pray with that person. True compassion demands action. What is compassion? It means to be moved deeply to action. Secondly, what compassion is, not only does it demand action, but to say that you care, but not to act, is to not care at all. I love it when I tell people, say, I'm from Missouri. You say, what do you mean? I'm from Missouri. Not really. I just like to say that because Missouri is the what state? It's the show me state, baby. I've heard all of it before. I've been doing this since 1998. I have heard, well, I'll be back up and punt on that one because as soon as I think I've heard, as weird as it can get, somebody else is coming up with something and posting about it on social media, and I'm going, holy smoke. Are you that stupid? You think that'll work? Holy smokes. And then they'll say, and pray for me. Isn't that right? So that just spiritualizes it. Is that okay? That's too real for you, and you don't like it like that, do you? You'd rather me just to make you laugh, say amen, and get you on about your business so you can go eat and get one of them bad burritos. I'm telling you, we live in a spiritual, biblical, ignorant generation. They have no idea what it means to be compassionate for your neighbor. You're all about yourself and what you can do for yourself instead of sacrificing. See, when I say I'm compassionate for somebody, it means that I'm willing to do something about that. It doesn't mean that I just say, hey, I'll pray for them and be honest, really forget about it later. I'm just being, and the only reason I preach like this is because this is straight off my heart. It has kicked my butt long enough, let me get it out. Church say, I'll help, I'll do, I'll give, I'll support. And a couple times a year, and listen, I is one, have been one really, so I can talk about it. You can do all the shoe boxes you want, but if you're not doing it 365 days, why in the world would you make a big push 1 or 2 times a year? That's ugly, isn't it? How come it is that right outside the shadow of your steeple, there's people that are starving, that just lost their job, but you're going to do all these shoe boxes and say, but I care about my community. Well, come help us serve at the soup kitchen. I guarantee you they'll smell like 3-day-old urine. Let's see how compassionate you are to them. And then when they breathe on you, they smell like a bottle of wine. And see, the righteous will go, well, they're drunks. Yeah, they are. And when I was a drunkard, Jesus loved me. I don't know what you were into. See, true compassion does more than just say, I care. I care. Isn't it time that we do something about what we say we care about? What is compassion? Compassion demands action. Compassion, true compassion, actually does something about it. Let me illustrate through the scripture. For some of you think I was going to preach and I didn't use the Bible. I promise you I will always use the Bible. If you have yours with you, be on the screen. If you don't, Mark 1, 40 and 41. Jesus illustrates this greater than anybody in the Bible, what it means to show true compassion, to yearn from your bowels. Okay, you'll not forget that, okay? Some of you thought, I thought I was going to be Mexican later. I'm not today, all right? To yearn from your bowels, all right? I'm going to stay with me, okay? Stay with me. Mark 1, 40 and 41. I like Mark's gospel. Mark's gospel was written to the Gentiles. Matthew was written to the Jews. That's why you have the lineage of Christ to begin with. Mark is written to the Gentiles. And the reason I like Mark so much, they believe Mark is the oldest to date of the manuscript, all the New Testaments, or at least the Synoptic Gospels. They believe that Mark is the oldest. I like Mark. Mark was like me. I believe he had ADD. Mark was all about the action of Christ. He went right to it. He got right to it. So right away we see him moving into this moment. And what we find here is this leprosy. This man with leprosy comes to him, and here's what it says in 40. A man with leprosy came and knelt in front of Jesus, begging to be healed. If you are willing, you can heal me and make me clean, he said. 41. Moved with what, church? Compassion. Jesus reached out and what? Touched him. I'm reading from the New Living Translation. Move with compassion. Yearn in the bowels. Deep, deep sympathy for someone. And it doesn't just say, Jesus doesn't look at him and say, well, I'll pray for you. We love you. Stay back. It says that he was moved to action because it says that he reached out and touched him and he said, I am willing, he said, be healed. So you thought I was just making all that stuff up and being silly with you. No, true compassion and the struggle we have is to be compassionate in a desensitized generation that's obsessed with themselves and really no longer personally interacting with people. You didn't have to leave your house. Did you know that? I mean, if you didn't really want to leave your house, you could shut yourself off from the world. All you had to do was click and everything would be brought to you. You had to pay for it, of course. And it is amazing how that has cost us in the realm of compassion. And Jesus says true compassion demands action, and true compassion does more than just say something about it. Here's what does compassion do? And I'm done after these couple of points. I'm going to give you application. You ready? Amen. Wake up. Okay, you with? All right. I'm going to say something silly again to get your attention. I want you just to listen to the sermon. All right? Amen. Joan said, I'm in here. I'm good. I got my coffee. I'm ready to go. All right, here we go. Compassion interrupts. Compassion interrupts. Every time you see Jesus, and I could have read you all sorts of scripture in here for sake of time. For sake of time, I just pick one and just preach from it and just make my point. But real compassion, what it does in applications, it interrupts. What happens is, most of us, we're so scheduled in our day, we don't want anything to interrupt us. And I'll be the first one to say amen to that. Matter of fact, I'll say double amen. I'm so scheduled. Don't mess with my time to take a shower. Don't mess with my time to take my supplements. Don't mess with my time to go to the gym. Don't mess with my time. I mean, if any of that gets off track, the rest of the day is just jacked. And I'm usually a butthole the rest, or eel. I shouldn't have said that. But you get the point, right? Some of you get it better than others. And so we're so scheduled that we don't want anything to interrupt us or throw us off schedule. We don't want our wife, we don't want our kids to throw us off schedule. You know what I'm saying? I mean, don't look at me piously. You ever had those days where you're going, they're my kids, but I'm about ready to give them away. I need a little me time. I need a little veg time. I mean, I got to unplug here, man. I'm telling you, I'm about to give them. Don't interrupt me. I will argue with you every day and twice on Sunday that our God 99% of the time works in the divine interruptions. Remember I told you the story last week about the guy that his job when he served was to go out and find the landmines. I mean, that was his job while he was serving. And he's kind of jaded with church, and I'm on the treadmill, and especially the gym time, man. I will talk to everybody. You ain't careful. You poke me hard enough, man, I'll start preaching in the gym. But most of the time, and I look at him, he's going, I'm like, well, I guess he's talking to me. Boop, boop. Take the beats out. Let's hear. Doesn't mean that, listen, don't look at me and think that I'm not being unspiritual. I'm just being real with you. At first, I'm like, yet again? Are you kidding me? Yeah, I had to pause Flash. That's one of my comics. Anyway, divine interruption. Or what about this? Anybody other than those invested or employed by, and you probably don't either, but how many of you love Walmart? God, man, I hate Walmart. I'm just being honest. I know you're not supposed to hate stuff. I hate Walmart. I hate Walmart. Have you ever had a situation like this? Have you ever? And I mean, I heard a guy say he'd rather go watch kitten at the pet store than to go to Walmart. I mean, and some of you going, I love cats. Got those. Okay, all right. But for those of us that are not cat people, all right. I hate Walmart, man. How many of you can just go in Walmart and come out of Walmart? You guys are rare and special, and I need you to shop for me. Okay? Because I cannot go in Walmart and just come out. And listen, I think people are catching on to my going to the Central Walmart too. And they're there, aren't they, baby? They're like, I'll find you. Sometimes it's even your dad. All right? No, listen, it's crazy, right? It's crazy. And I'm just being real with you. I have had situations like this where I'm going, what am I doing in Walmart? No, I wasn't spaced out. I didn't take too much pre-workout. No, I mean, what are you doing in Walmart? I didn't need anything. I look around. I just don't. And I'm telling you, I don't make this stuff up. I will go in we edit this out. I hate Walmart. I love Walmart, but I hate Walmart. You know what I'm saying? And I go in, and I'm telling you, I don't get into the first aisle. I don't get in good. I get past where they cut hair in the pharmacy, the one in Seneca. I just get right in and side swiped by this lady. Not literally. She didn't run me with a buggy. She might have wanted to, but she's just a preacher. I hadn't seen her in years. She's a preacher. I was trying to get in touch with you because after the divorce and all this stuff, I changed all my numbers and all these things. There's been a lot of change in the last 5 or 6 years of my life. And 30 minutes later, we're still talking. believe my God works in divine interruptions. You see, the application is you and I got to get over ourselves and be willing to let God interrupt us. Instead of being so structured, and this is what we do and how we do it. And let me tell you where the greatest blessing will come from. Let your kids interrupt you. Now, teach them respect. I know they walk up to you. My girls will walk up, man, just right in the middle of me talking to somebody else. Daddy! Wait. I'm not talking about disrespectful. I'm talking about, but how about them interrupting you? They can't help it that your day went bad. They can't help that everything that you put your hands to really didn't work out that good and that your boss was tough on you. That's not their fault. It's definitely not your spouse's fault. She's trying, he's trying. You understand? I'm telling you, God works in divine compassion. Compassion comes from it. Everywhere you see Jesus going, man, he's on his way to heal a dying girl, little girl. And a woman with the issue of blood interrupts him. And yet he has time to stop. Over and over. Man, he's so tired at times. Jesus is so tired, he's like, we've got to go rest. And on his way to get rest, he's interrupted. I love how God, for me, that's been the adventure of this Christianity for me. That I don't know what the day holds for me. That it's crazy. Now again, I'm structured and get aggravated easy, all right? But I believe my God operates in a divine intervention. I believe he all the time is moving to interrupt us in our ordinary. Secondly, what does compassion do? Compassion not only interrupts, but compassion costs us. Compassion costs us. You see, what we want to do what is easy. We want to do what is not so messy. Listen, it's easy just to click like. It's easy to post, I'm praying. But see, it costs you something to get out of your house, drive to another town, and go sit in the hospital with somebody that's sick or their little one is sick. It costs you something. Man, I'm telling you, this is how God, he's awesome. All right? I had somebody a couple weeks, last week. You still with me? Say amen. Amen. Any millionaires here? Any millionaires? Anybody? I expect the building to be built next week. All right? All right? Because you need tithe off that million. All right? And so, and if you win the lottery, the devil's had it long enough, okay? All right? We'll take that tithe, okay? All right? I'm not a millionaire. Stay with me, all right? Stay with me. And so, out of left field last week, somebody chased me down. The preacher knows, I'm telling you, a preacher knows this kind of chase down and this kind of handshake. He said, God's telling us to do something more with our finances. This is for you. It's for you. I said, okay. Stuck it in my pocket. Oh, I didn't tell Sandra, nobody. Shh. Just kidding. I just make sure you listen. I'm just kidding. No more. Listen to me. No more than an hour later. Literally, no more than an hour later. God was all over me to give that to somebody else. I had no idea. I didn't even look or anything. I just put it in my pocket. God said, I want you to give it to somebody else. I was like, got buzz and that in my ear or something, man. He ain't saying that. That's Satan trying to tempt me to do something crazy. Then I look at it. It's a C note. And I'm like, Daddy needs a new pair of shoes. Yeah. Truth under God. True story. I did not give that away to who God said give it to. Now, I'm trying to be super spiritual with you, and I'm trying to make you think that I'm better, because I am. I'm telling you, there is nothing good about me but Jesus. Nothing. It's who smack you than to love on you. I'm just how I was raised. But the divine intervention called salvation changed that. And so I get deeply convicted. And so I have to ride it out, because I'm not going to see this person again to Wednesday. So I have to ride this misery out to Wednesday. You all right? And so I tell the mom, I say, listen, because I was just joking about not telling her everything. There's nothing here. Nothing. Probably she knows more than she wants to know, to be honest with you. If she'd have known it up front, she'd have been like, But anyway, and so I said, I'm telling you, God's telling me to do this. And we know, 2 kids, y'all understand. Some of y'all got 4 kids. Some of y'all got a clan, dog. I get it. It's expensive. Life is expensive. So I was obedient. And it's crazy. It's crazy. You say, why did you tell us that story? Because sometimes it's not just about money. It's about giving, just giving your time, giving of yourself. But it is crazy how we get so wrapped up into what we need that we miss how it is to bless somebody else. Now, I could have been super spiritual, and I could have said this, that I could have said that 2 days earlier. You listening to me? I could have said, no, not taking that. Not at all. I didn't. I was like, amen, brother. Right? And it's crazy. You see, we want what's easy. We don't want it to cost us anything. We don't want to give an extra time. We don't listen. I think it was you that posted that, silly. Man, I'm telling you, people are so funny about getting up early, staying up late, and all this good stuff. Man, we can do so many different things, but when it comes to the house of God, when it comes to doing the work of the Lord, it's like, It's crazy, right? If everything flows from Him, why in the world is it when something bad hits our life that the first place we leave is the church? Why is it that when financial crisis hits our life, the very first thing we do is cut out giving to the Lord? Because you don't pay me or this staff. The Lord does that. It's crazy. It's because we want the easy. We don't want it to cost. And here's the flip side of it. Not just as in finances, but we don't want to get dirty. See, you see, compassion, well, it's messy. It means going in the hospital. Listen, I remember like yesterday, the very first time I was on a hospital visit. Not the first time I went visiting at the hospital, but it was the first time this had happened. I couldn't enter the room without putting on this suit and these gloves. And I'm fresh. I'm green. I'm still green, but I was green then. And I was thinking in my mind. I didn't say this out loud. They probably read it on my facial expression. All right? I'm like, what they got? And I can pray just as good out here as I can in there. Why I got to put all this on? And make sure it's zipped up and what kind of bubonic plague they got. I ain't lying. I wasn't thinking about Jesus. I was thinking about me. And it's crazy. It's crazy. We don't want to get messy. We don't want it to stink. That's why social media has dumbed it down. We only see the highlight reels. We don't see the real. We don't see the behind it. And our compassion is so limited by that. Lastly, and this is not in the outline. This is not in, but this is, God was speaking to me this morning as I was rereading the notes. The application of compassion is that it'll interrupt us. It'll cost us. You listen to me? But I'm talking about genuine compassion will change your life. You see, you think that you're going to change somebody else's life. It's crazy. I can remember, just like yesterday, another time, one of my last trips to Chile, I remember this guy, him and his wife and daughter had hiked a half a day to get to where we were staying at the ranch that we were staying, the place that we were living. That the Gringadas, the missionaries, the super spiritual man, we were not really. I mean, but they walked all the way down to that village, pouring down rain, muddy. They come to get one of us, and they got me. And so I go out, and again, the language, barrier, but God is so cool, He's so awesome, He's so bigger than that. And I immediately, this is probably, I'd say 60s or 70s, and it's pouring down rain, it's muddy, and we're up in the Andes, it's crazy, right? And I go to just say something, and I didn't say anything. This guy goes, boom, he just hits the ground, and he just cries out. And listen, I didn't understand it, but I knew exactly what he was doing. He needed to be saved. And here I thought, man, I'm going to change this guy's life. I'm coming over here to do this work for the Lord. And I'm telling you, as I stand here before you and I remind you of this, it absolutely changed my life to be in that moment, to know my God had put me right there. He had taken this Milhillian from Neri, a GED high school dropout with just barely, almost flunked out of seminary because of music class, barely with a seminary degree or two, all right? Barely. All the way over here in the Andes Mountain, just to help this guy know Jesus. Or to turn a corner in another trip, go into this little room, and the lady wanted to be saved, and she goes, how much do we pay you? Because the priests that come up from the Catholic Church, church would make one time a month, they would make a pilgrimage up the mountain to pray for the people in the area. They had to pay them. And I said, true. I said, you tell them she don't owe me nothing. Jesus has sent me here. Do you not think that just like the Walmart time, you say you don't have to go across the country. Don't you think that just in a little bit when you go over to the soup kitchen and you get right beside that guy and you get to listening to them and you show compassion, that you don't think that our God loves us so much and he wants to change those people's lives and change your life, that he can't divinely orchestrate a situation, whether it's tragic or whether it's a happy moment, that our God is not preparing all of that to change our lives. You see, compassion is more than liking something. See, compassion is more than liking a post. Compassion is loving people. You see, clicking is clean. Compassion is messy. I'm asking God to make us people of compassion, to yearn deep inside us, to be churned, to be moved, to be something and do something greater than ourselves, that our kids would follow in our example. They would see that it's not just about us and me and mine. It's about giving more than receiving. I'm telling you, that's why God has given you two hands. One to receive and one to give. And then he said, don't even let the other one know what the other one's doing. When is the last time you've done something for someone else and want nothing in return? When's the last time you've got messy with someone else? When's the last time that you went in and even though it was stinking in the situation, and it don't have to be a physical funk, it's just funky. When's the last time that you've gone outside of yourself and done something more? It's one thing to click. It's one thing to just give money and walk away. It's another thing to just take a knee and say, can I help you? Do you understand me? Compassion. Moved beyond ourselves. To do something for something greater than ourselves. Clicking is clean. Compassion is messy. Compassion is more than liking a post. It's loving the people even when they don't put on deodorant. Do you understand me? Stand to your feet, please. You see, as I close, there's one thing I've learned. You listen to me in my 40 years. There's one thing I've learned. The more obsessed I get with what people think about me and like my post and favorite and share and retweet, the more obsessed I get with that kind of garbage of the world, the less I care about people. But see, on the flip side of that, the more I become obsessed with God, His Word, well, it's weird. The more obsessed I become with what He wants and for His people. So a direct sign of where you are in your relationship with Christ is, well, just how compassionate are you? You say, I've heard it all. I've seen it all. I don't have time for that. What if Christ looked at us and said, I don't have time for that? You say, well, you're just trying to, no, I'm just being real with you. Under deep conviction. It's easy to look the other way. It's easy to go the other direction. It's easy to hide. It's easy just to click. It's easy just to give and stay away. How are you with Christ? Let me give you some real simple application as we open the altar. Maybe there's someone here this morning. There's a bunch out, but maybe there's just someone you know here that, man, they just need you to go over there and say, I love you. Put your arm around them. Tell them you love them. You're praying for them. Maybe, you get this. We are literally entering, it's hard to believe the year is gone. We're entering in the holiday season, right? I don't care if all this Christmas stuff and bypassing, and I could care less what color. The Starbucks I get comes in a clear cup anyway. Who cares about that crap? It's so stupid. What I'm talking about is, we're entering this season, and we were just talking about this a moment ago. We're entering this season, and you know, this season will be the first time that some of our folks will celebrate Thanksgiving and Christmas without a mom or a dad or a son or a daughter, a husband or a wife, boyfriend or a girlfriend for some of you. It'll be the very first time. And for some of you, you'll probably go into the holiday season, like next week's Thanksgiving, of course, and you'll be like, at the end of that day, and there's nothing wrong with this, I'm not criticizing this, you'll be like, oh my Lord, I'm glutton, I've overate, give Tums, I need something, give me something, mold him out of something. You have so much food, and so much left over that, listen, someone you sit beside every week would love for you to invite them and help you eat. I mean, just compassion, just doing something. Not just saying I love you and I pray for you or posting it or writing on their wall. It's being there. No telling what people are going through. Let's be people of action. Let's be a church. I don't care what size, I don't care what we got or what we don't have. Let's be a church that is about action. We start here and we go across the pond. We start working right here in our backyard and we go as far as God will send us. My wife come home yesterday talking about, hey, I want to bring this girl to America. I want her to go to college. And I want to know how we're going to pay for her. I'm like, where are you going to put her? Well, so-and-so's got a basement over there. Yeah, we're going to put him at your mother-in-law's place. I'm like, well, let's just pray the Lord do it. That girl didn't let up all day long. I believe we want to bring that girl over here. I believe we want to bring her over here. I just want to, before I'm done, to make a difference. Starting in my girls' lives, these students' lives, and your life. And I want you to be challenged to get above and beyond some silly post or something that's trending. Because here's the other thing about it. As quick as something will trend, even faster will it be forgotten about. You don't hear no ice bucket challenge no more, do you? It's amazing how quickly and how much money they raise for Lou Gehrig's disease. It's amazing what will trend and be so popular, but in just, if not faster, you don't hear nothing else about it. I don't want to be those kind of people. Not when it comes to Christianity. Not when it comes to being able to do something starting right here in our backyard. You understand me? So if you're not as compassionate, it may just be not that you're not saved, but you may not be as close as you once were. Say, God, I want you to break my heart for what breaks yours. Let's pray together. Father, we love you. We thank you for this moment. I thank you that, God, you do bring conviction. You do bring this yearning deep down inside of us. As silly as that may sound, it is so powerful and so real. God, it concerns me. It concerns me when there are folks I watch that doesn't seem to have that. It doesn't bother them at all. They seem to do whatever they want to do, whenever they want to do it, with whoever they want to do it, and they act like it doesn't bother them. Break our hearts, God. Break our hearts. Save the lost this morning. In Jesus' name.